We're just going to go on with some audience questions for the panel.
Hi, I'd like to ask, do you have any plans to maybe work with partner up with an organization that can help you develop, say, the agriculture, the garden aspect? I guess that's the city.
Certainly, and I think Ms. Arsenault mentioned every Thursday, it's the first Thursday of every month at the City Council Community Room, I think is what it's called. Community Room. We convene a meeting of the Compton Creek Task Force. Many of the individuals that are here today, in addition to residents and city staff and the councilwoman, are there to provide updates and information. We are always seeking individuals that have some vested interest in the trail, be it those that love the trees, those that love the creek and are concerned about watershed, those that are into physical fitness and look to see the benefits of the multi-purpose trail, or those that are looking to create garden parks. So we welcome that input. We have really an open dialogue, so we can always put those issues on the agenda to have for discussion. And with regard, there was a question earlier with regard to public participation. Understand the city's commitment is this. If we get every resident in the city of Compton to participate, we will not stop our outreach. If you know anything about public participation, you know that our outreach never stops. No matter what level of participation you get, you must always continue to get public input, because throughout the process and throughout time, things change. Our priorities are changed, and so we will always endeavor to make sure that we reach out to as many people as possible, residents, business owners, and other stakeholders in and around the city of Compton.
Thank you. This is James Alamillo from Hilda Bay, and I've asked him to ask a question about the trash net. This is a way that I've actually engaged with Brooke Morris in the past about trash net, because and this didn't come up in the panel, and so I wanted just to have a discussion here, because I know that Brooke Morris has felt very passionate about a trash net in the Compton Creek, and these guys have too, and he's brought it up at the task force before and has not gotten a satisfactory answer. And so I just wanted to voice, we're not going to solve any problems here, but I wanted to voice some concerns with this question that is about to be asked.
I don't know if it's so much a question as just a clarification or just to put the information out there. We've been working with the regional board, Army Corps of Engineers, and the County of LA. Successfully achieved a grant for about $100,000 to do a pilot on Compton Creek, where we're going to install a trash net on one of the culverts right there as an image of soft water habitat. And we currently have the approval of the Colonel, and the Army Corps is just as concerned about trash in that portion of Compton Creek, because it costs them literally $600,000 a year to do maintenance. And they're looking for a more effective, efficient, best management practice to get that trash first from hitting the soft bottom. And so they're very interested in this pilot project. So we are currently moving forward. We have a vendor selected, and the Army Corps is currently getting the specs. And like I said, the county's on board, the regional board is on board, and the Army Corps is on board. So we hope to have a project out there by the first of the year. And if proven successful on one of the culverts, the Army Corps will proceed with putting 6 additional ones, so that basically the whole thing will be netted, and we won't necessarily have to worry about kind of low flow trash in the creek, and that should go a long way to dealing with the problem. So just a heads up.
Okay, I also wanted to give Brooke at least a chance to speak, and of course Mr. Hall and Mr. Merrill can also speak to you.
Let me just quickly mention, that is a great task that you're going to endeavor. There is, however, a task that starts even before the trash net, and that is education of the residents who are creating the trash, right? So ultimately, we as stakeholders in our various capacities really need to get the word out to our residents. Don't trash the Compton Creek. Understand that when you throw things out the window, or when you throw things in the creek itself, it has an immediate impact on the community. So in addition to having a trash net, I hope that we can also create outreach to to our residents, particularly those that are within the confines of the creek itself, and begin to really educate them on what potential issues are created once they actually trash the creek. So that's something that we can certainly discuss at the task force, and just really begin to get some information out to our residents about the impacts that are occurred when they don't take seriously their actions in terms of debris and trash in the creek area.
Okay. James, my applause for that. Good job. Yeah, we as the property owner here for a long time, people come to us, and we've been talking about it today. But how come we don't beautify the creek? People want to come down here and have lunch, and my response so often is, get the trash out of the creek. No one's going to want to come down here and have lunch if that trash is in the creek. We want to widen this, make this a park. Get the trash out of the creek, and then people will come down and use the park. But we want to raise our self-esteem and have people, be able to farm here and do all these things. No, they're not, if the creek is full of trash. So it's always been our mantra, get the trash out of the creek, and you can get closer to the water quality goals. Get the trash out of the creek, and you'll have people proud to go down there and hang out and go hunt crawdads and all that. Get the trash out of the creek, and we can achieve, I think, make a giant step forward. So I applaud you on that, because a lot of the Dorito bags, coffee cups, cigarettes, plastic bottles, they're not from Compton.
That's right.
Okay? They're not from Compton. They're from, El Monte, Gardena, Paramount, all these places that are tributary to that creek that come down and they end up right here. Okay? So I think if we're talking about grants and a little bit of money spent, even some catch basin screens, someone's got an extra $1 million laying around, you can do a lot of catch basin screens for $1 million to keep the trash out of the creek versus, trying to do some other stuff. So again, we go back to what's the allocation of resources so we can most bang for the buck, and I think that's a huge one, the trash.
James, you touched on a really good point, is all the trash that's out there, and despite all the trash, habitat out there, especially in the soft bottom portion, is really resilient. We have it's and that's when we're talking about this project. It's a crown jewel project because we have if you really walk down there, you see the fish, you see the birds, the turtles. So look at the possibility of how we can convert this into the crown jewel that it really is. So I think as a last note for me is, someone said earlier, I like your project that you guys are talking about. I think this is an important way for me to close, to say it's our project and everybody has a role. And what I was talking about is everyone can play a role. The residents can play a role about educating what the value of restoring not only this natural portion of the creek, but the other portions and the benefits of it. And then the nonprofits who play the significant role of trying to get the trash out, like Heal the Bay, and then us playing the role, and then working with the city and the county to do this. So I think we all have to play a role if we want to see this vision come alive. So that's my last note.
All right, and that's the close of our panel. Let's give our panelists another.